know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. What's going on, y'all? Big Back Cadillac News is back in the building.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
Baby, we got some things to discuss this good morning, y'all. It's bright and early, but I was like, you know what? I was just gonna pre-record this video, but then I said I need to process these messages from Ralph with somebody. Okay, I can't just do it by myself. You know, I felt like I need some people to help me like understand what is really going on. So we're gonna get into that in just 1 second. I've just put you guys's comments on the screen. So please, oh please, don't do nothing crazy. Okay, don't say nothing crazy because we will eject you. Norman will eject you faster than Gail and Katy Perry went up and down and back from outer space. Okay, faster than the 10 minutes they spent up in space. We will have to eject you. Yes, indeed. So don't say nothing crazy. All right. Now, let's also dive into Simon. Simon is back with a vengeance, y'all. I told y'all it wouldn't be long, and I tried to tell you ladies, if you were looking for your African prince, your African king, he is your king to be. Then this man is currently free. And guess what, y'all? He is on the interview circuit. When I saw this, I said, what in the world? Now, we knew he was back on the prowl. You know what I'm saying? Back on the prowl, fresh out the thing, and ready to make some moves. So, of course, it's only natural for him to sit down and do an interview with Cherie Zampino. What? This to me is so interesting. So very interesting. I have so many questions. What are we talking about in this interview? I mean, I didn't know she was doing the interviews. Did anybody else know? Is it just me? Was it just me that did not know? I mean,
is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? I ask you.
I just don't understand. I'm kind of just like, help me understand. I never have understood Cherie all that well anyway. At least when it comes to her on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think we had all had high expectations for Cherie when she came on as Garcelle's friend. And then that quickly kind of fizzled out just a bit when it seemed like she was more interested in having a friendship with the Fox Force peoples, you know? So it was just kind of like, I thought you was coming there to be, you know, some backup for Giselle, but not Giselle, Lord Giselle. Oh God, Garcelle. But it felt like she was more interested in flying on Diana's plane than hanging out and slumming it with Garcelle. That's what I thought. But whatever. I didn't know she was doing interviews. And now here she is on the interview circuit interviewing Simon Guobadia, the African king slash prince that I just know one of y'all will make a perfect match for. I don't know which one. Okay. We playing matchmaker, millionaire matchmaker. Okay. I'm talking royalties. Royalties. Okay. If you want royalties, here you go. But listen, maybe we'll find out, maybe because, Cherie is, she's a woman about the world. So maybe she just happened to be over in the Nigeria, or who knows? Simon moves fast. So Simon might be back in Dubai right about now. I don't know. One never knows. One never knows. Okay. But I will say this. Notice about him. If it don't go well, he might drag you on the internet. Okay. That's the only thing. Now you might go from wherever you at now to riches, but if you break up and it go bad, he might read you for a long time on the internet. So that's the only downfall. Okay. Outside of the fact that we don't know if he can come back in the country. But for a lot of y'all, that's neither here nor there, because a lot of people are, making their way out the country right now anyway, just on the purposes of, traveling. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's move on. Let's get into how Ralph is continuing to wreck it. Ralph is on the loose. Simon's on the loose, and so is Ralph. Now, Ralph is spilling all types of tea right now. I don't know what started this whole situation other than, the regular show and maybe Drew doing her interviews, now that Bravo has finally deemed it appropriate for her to be doing interviews anyway, which is kind of weird to me that they waited for so long. But listen, whatever we can get, however we can get Drew, we'll take it. Okay, we'll take it. I thought he posted doing an interview last year when he was in Cali. If my mind serves me correct, that might be the interview. Listen, it's hard to say. You know what I'm saying? That could be true too. That could be true. Hopefully we'll see it at some point in time, because these house husbands are on the move. On the move. Okay. I'll hit you later, girl. I hit you later. Okay, so let's Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is like on the move. So this is probably as a result of the interviews that Drew has been doing, making the press rounds. She's been obviously everywhere. We had the BET Awards this past weekend, so I'm sure did some interviews out there. Watch What Happens Live, the press interviews. I don't know if she did like the virtual reality. I need to go back and check their YouTube page. I'm sure she did, because that's usually one of the pit stops that they make when they send them to New York. So we got to go back and check out all the interviews. I got to oh my God, I got to go back and do all the research, all of them, so hold on. I just saw somebody type in some tea that I want to I have not. Oh God, I'm trying to confirm some tea, baby. I'm trying to confirm some tea. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Stand by. I'm just Big Back Cadillac News is on the prowl for something. So stand by. Before I get into this next story, I just want to make sure I have some details straight. Okay, I don't see nothing about what I was thinking about anyway, so it's fine. But ChatGPT is back online for those of you guys that didn't know. Just FYI. That's a little update for y'all. So for those of y'all that need to write some things down, but you don't want to do so yourself, ChatGPT is back up. Okay. Woo! Y'all can get back to work. Okay. So Ralph is saying this. He says Drew is dealing with Black in an intimate way. Okay, because we're going to be PC around here. I'm going to put the alleged badge up here because, I mean, I guess this all is contingent on whether or not you believe Ralph, right? So, again, don't put nothing crazy in the chat because your comments is on the screen. Okay. All right. Hey, boo. We don't know yet what he talked about. We got to find out. We waiting. We waiting. We got it. We got you, boo. We're going to find out, though. Yes, Drew is dealing with Black intimately and trying to get back with me. Well, that sounds crazy. Most of the things you saw on TV was fabricated. I played the bad guy for Drew to keep her peach, and now she's taking it too far. Tampa didn't happen the way y'all thought. She had my location on her phone. See, this is where I feel like this is what always gets me about Ralph and Drew. Like, if this was y'all's plan to have this level of story on the show, you have to stick the landing. All right. You got to be in it to win it until the day you go under this earth. Okay. Until your soul is set free. Why is it that people can't commit to the plans no more? Okay, that's the question. Why can't people commit to the plan? When you make a commitment to the scheme, you have got to commit to the scheme, allegedly, for life. For life. You can't have mad day and then blow up the scheme if it is indeed a scheme, as you are alleging. So now what I know about you is that you can't follow through on the scheme. You can't follow through on the plot that was allegedly crafted. You, when triggered by your emotions, will then blow up the scheme because you're mad. She went too far, y'all. She went too far. She was only supposed to go this far. But what she did was she went that far, and now I got to tell y'all what the scheme really was. That's what it's given to me right now. That's what this is making me feel like, and I don't like it. Okay? I don't like it. So I don't know if the intention here is to portray Drew as a part of this scheme. And if so, my statement still stands, right? But if Drew indeed is not a part of the scheme and you, sir, are making it sound like you two were collaborating on a scheme, that's even worse. Because what that tells me then is you will burn your house down to burn down hers, which is always wildly insane to me when somebody will do that, right? Why would you burn down your own home that you're in the basement of, right? Like, I mean, I get it. When people get mad at each other, you know, you might want to get your revenge on them, but don't discredit yourself in the process. You would discredit yourself and make yourself look even crazier by alluding to the fact that this was all a scheme so that she could stay on a reality TV show. Because then also too, check this. If I'm a producer, I'm watching the two of them implode on each other like this. My very thought is I can't ask them back for next season because I can't now trust. And sometimes producers probably don't even trust anyway. They probably feel like some producers, I'm sure, feel like, well, let's invite them on the TV and let them implode because that's going to make some good TV. It's going to be some good ratings. But for the producer that cares about the viewing experience and telling authentic stories, I would be looking at the two of them like, sir, you just not only blew up her spot, but your spot. And now we're going to cut off that income stream because we don't want you back on the show. Now, what does that do for both of you? That takes money away from both of your accounts. Because I don't know, maybe you get a little something. Maybe you have worked some type of way where the exposure gets you something additional. Maybe you get paid for a confessional. I don't really know. All I know is that destroying and alerting us to the scheme of it all does not do you any favors. Even in the court of public opinion, when it comes to whether or not people are siding with Drew or you. At the end of the day, what it does show is if there's a scheme in play, your partners can't trust you. Okay? You're not the person that somebody can go bury the body with. Like, you're just not that person. Because if you get mad enough, you're going to explode. And that's not really, you don't want nobody in your life like that. Okay, y'all? Nobody in your life. So I don't know who's zooming who in this situation. I don't know if he's saying this to make her seem a certain type of way, or I don't know if this is actually their play. But regardless, the reveal of it does neither one of them any favors. Personally. Everyone has, people do have a right to defend themselves. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want you to miss my point. My point is, in defense of yourself, defend yourself. But if all of this was a scheme, you can't let the anger of what that person said or did make you so far gone that you would blow up both of your spots. Because if that is the case, and this was all a ploy to keep them on the show, then you just ruined the plan. Like, to me, does that not make it? I gotta come closer. Am I the only person that understands what I can't be the only person that understands what I'm saying. If you have worked yourself into a play to get some money, whether it's on TV, whether or not it's a job, you and your homegirl, you and your homeboy, you and your man, y'all done worked yourselves into a sweet deal to make some money. Okay? The plan is for y'all to ultimately break apart and create some drama. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that that's the case. If the one party goes too far playing the role and you don't like it, and then you come out and reveal, oh, this was all a ploy, guess who you screw up in the end? You and your partner. You play into it. Like that, I want people to understand exactly what I'm saying. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Yeah, defend yourself, but don't burn your house down to burn down someone else's. Because at this point, y'all live in the same house. Oh. Oh gosh. Come on. Come on. Like, I'm just saying, you gotta be, if that's your plan, be smarter about the plan. That's all I'm saying. Period. Anyway, there are some alleged text messages here. I'm assuming that these messages are supposed to be from the guy Black. I don't know how Ralph would have them. I don't know how he would have these messages from her phone, because how does he have these messages? That's what I want to know. Did you go through her phone? Is that permissible in the state of Georgia? I don't really know. I have no idea. Anyway, the text message one says, "Are you cuffing me, Miss Sador?" And she allegedly replies, "Consider yourself cuffed, baby." And then he allegedly responds and says, "Don't be selfish. Yeah, I know what's up. LOL. And then she says, okay, Mr. Black. And then she says, landing at 10:15 PST, but probably do an early day. I'll know when I land though. And then he allegedly says, do I need to arrange anything? Danny has your rental car reserved. Which company? I just feel like I need to be your manager. No fee. Um, Then it gets dark. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a bit of a spoiler alert because this is the part where I was ever going to like, this is, mm, this type of stuff always makes me cringe. But basically, Ralph is saying he's only living in the basement because Drew allegedly lied about him, you know, abusing their son, and also shares alleged text messages about them sleeping with other people. He says, Drew, you're being extremely disrespectful. The only reason I'm in the basement is because you lied and said I'm abusing my son. Now you're lying about me bringing a woman in the house. This is what truth looks like. I can keep going, looking desperate. I don't really know who these messages are to or from. All I can see is that a part of the message is from the message is from like whoever is sending the messages is sending them to Drew. And the messages go back and forth asking about the last time somebody has had relations. I don't know what this is supposed to prove. Because I can't tell if these messages are between Drew and one of her homegirls or somebody. I really don't know. Um, the only other thing that I do know is that Ralph had more to share, and our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room picked this up and says, I advise Drew to stop lying and speaking negatively about my character, integrity, and or discrediting my name. This bad guy storyline was successfully used every season, and now it's time to say goodbye. Um, you know, when the story gets to this place, um, I'm gonna say that this is where I think the train has to probably stop. Yeah. This is where the train has to stop for me. We got to stop the locomotion. We got to stop the locomotion. Um, I don't know if the resolve is to basically kind of remove them from the show. And I like Drew. I've really grown to like Drew. But I just feel like their story is so complex and convoluted. And I feel like it is reminiscent of the complexities that led to us feeling so frustrated with the Mia and Gordon situation. Because whether or not, Mia and Gordon had their own agreements about how they would manage things behind the scenes, whatever happened once they started filming made things extra confusing. And to me, it is the situation surrounding their filming, the things that are happening while they're filming that I just don't understand. So either something's got to give here because I just feel like it's too convoluted for me there's no clear line. And I know real reality is not a linear line. But now we're getting into the point where they're talking about like, it's just too much. It's just too much to me. Okay? Just too much. Because now I got to question everything. I got to question, was this a scheme? Are y'all still together? Are y'all playing us? Who's playing who? Who's zooming who? You know, who's telling the truth? Who's not telling the truth? And I just don't have a clear picture. I just don't. I don't have a clear enough picture to trust that either one of them is presenting what's really, really happening. And as a result, it becomes hard for me to really analyze the story in the way that I would like to. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just yeah. Jamie, thank you for the super chat. Says Drew needs to stop being nice to Ralph today. Um, who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? Is it dramatic? Is it dramatic to want to have to be able to kind of trust what I'm seeing on the screen? Because at the end of the day, if the two parties, if you're gonna be fooling me, if if I am to believe Ralph and I'm supposed to be being fooled by what's happening on the screen, if I'm supposed to be following a story that they set up as he is clearly somewhat implying, right? Allegedly, if that's what is supposed to be happening, and now you are ultimately blowing that spot up and saying, well, no, this was how it was supposed to go, and now that she's gone one step too far, I'm gonna tell it all. I don't want to see that. I don't. And I'm just gonna be real about it. Like, I'm sorry. If you I mean, listen, uh, y'all gotta stick together. Y'all gotta stick together in the if that's the if it's a plot, if it's a ploy, if it's a scheme, you gotta stick together to the end. Period. And if this is merely a case of him being upset and taking things too far with her in terms of his get back, then is there a resolution so that we don't see him next season? And that's no dis. Listen, it's no diss to him, but what is she able to bring on her own? Because it's really about the housewives. And I know the husbands have a perspective, but it's too convoluted for me. And if it becomes too convoluted, I'm telling you the truth, I start to lose interest. And that's just the fact of the matter. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They got to do something because what they're doing right now is not working. It's not working. Period. So either they're both gone or he gone. And we move on with a different story. And that's possible. That can happen. I want him to do well because they got the kids. I want her to do well. But I just don't know that I can continue down this road with this story as a viewer, as a commentator. I just can't. I can't. Y'all ain't never been tired of something? You know who's tired of some stuff too? Kim Zolciak. Mm-hmm. Kim is tired of the surgeries, and now she is looking to rewind time. Okay. She is looking to rewind the time. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time when we first met? Y'all better be glad I can't sing, baby. I be ooh, 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 ooh. So Kim is taking it back. Ooh, it's the IIYH. She about to take it back to the old body, the old face, the old persona, the old wigs. I don't know about that. But what she is going to be doing is her and Brielle are going to appear on E's Botched Presents Rewind, Plastic Surgery Rewind. I am so going to watch this show, y'all. I ain't going to review it at all. Not in one single, not one, there's not going to be one iota of a review, likely, right? But I am going to guilt watch this. Well, it won't even be guilty because I'm just going to watch. I love watching people get plastic surgery. I love watching people get their pimples popped. I will go down a rabbit hole watching people get their toes, the toenails embedded from out in their toes on TikTok. I will go down the rabbit hole watching the people get the earwax and the bugs out their ears on TikTok. I don't know why I love it, but I am so morbidly fascinated with stuff like that. And I know I'm not the only one. I am not the only one. Okay. I am not the only one. Chime down if you got a little creep quirk. Okay, that's what I'm gonna call it, a creep quirk. Because I love them. I love them. I love them. And the pimple, I prefer the pimple to not be juicy. I prefer it to be like a little like thick, so they gotta really get in there and like oof, push it out. But anyway, um gotta keep it real. Gotta keep it real. Keeping it real with Nene. Um, so yeah, I love it all. And so as a result, I will be watching this. All right. I will be watching. It's going to be first of all, I mean, has Brio gotten enough surgery to now be regretting it? I mean, how old is she? I don't even know how old she is. But in my mind, it's like, girl, what have you gotten that you are regretting? But anyway, the series follows 9 celebrities and social influencers through a transformative journey of self-discovery at the Rewind Retreat as they decide whether to reverse previous plastic surgeries and return to a more natural look. Kim definitely looks a lot more natural, and I don't know if it's maybe like she's clearly lost some weight. Um, but something looks, and this could be Photoshop for the show. I don't know. I'm just saying. There's usually a little there's usually a little bit of Photoshop or a lot depending on the show. For their cast photos. I mean, listen, Photoshop me, okay? Photoshop me. Don't put me out there looking like in real life. I mean, come on now. So anyway, but yeah, I didn't know that. What did Brio? I mean, I don't follow Brio like that, but I didn't know. I love you when you call me Big Papa. Moms be on it, baby. Moms be on it. Um, yeah, I didn't know Brio had the things, like the nip tucks and stuff. So, Aubrey O'Day, this is the one I'm really interested in seeing right here. I'm front and seated for this episode because she don't look nothing like what she looked on the encore. Nothing at all. In fact, she looks a lot closer to the original version of Aubrey that we saw when we first were introduced to Danity Kane way back in the day on Making the Band. Okay. For those of you guys who are OG reality TV fans, you are in the know. If you saw her on the encore, you will know she looked completely different. Completely different. Completely different. All right. So I'm excited to see this one because I think I'm just fascinated, right? I don't know who this lady is, but okay, go for her. Yay. And that's Jessica Dime. You guys may remember Jessica Dime from Love and Hip Hop. Well, apparently I don't know what she's getting done. Maybe some reductions in some areas. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to say because I felt like it might have been a BBL, but I could be wrong. But yeah. Um, the other lady is Larissa Santos Lima. I don't know her that well, but I'm excited about this. I am truly excited. Dr. Terry Dubrow is working on the show, so it's because he a little. I always feel like he a little touched, and that makes him good reality TV. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't mind just saying whatever, doing whatever. He talk about all his Botox and things like that. By the way, I need some tap tap here and a tap tap there, here tap, there tap, everywhere tap tap. So I'll be working on that on the side too while this show is airing, figuring out how I can get my tap taps here and a tap tap there and here tap, there tap, everywhere tap tap. So I'll keep you guys posted on who I find to do my taps. Um, but yeah, man, that has been your dose of um your daily dose of Big Back Cadillac news. Yeah, your daily dose of Big Back Cadillac news. Super happy that we could bring you today's edition, sponsored by Big Back. Um, and there's nothing wrong with a big back. I too like to think of myself as a big back because I like to eat, you know. And sometimes you might just find yourself in a big back Cadillac. I don't know. Somebody said, does Botox hurt? Not really. If you can, it's like a little pinprick, but that's really about it. I mean, maybe a couple of pinpricks, but that's about it. Um I want to thank you guys for tuning in, tapping in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button. Make sure you guys are liking this video, like the content, engage with it. Make sure you guys leave us your comments down below. Like, what's going on with this interview with Simon and Cherie? Are you going to be watching the show with Kim and Brielle and Aubrey and the peoples getting their whole bodies and faces and lives redone? What do you think about the Drew and the Ralph situation? Is it team too much to be imploding this whole situation online for all of us to now see that, or think, or believe possibly that this isn't something real? I just blows my mind, and it annoys me so much. But anyway, with that being said, I will catch you guys in, of course, the next video.